What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Zatima. This is Season 3, Episode 4. The episode is titled Help Yourself, and let's go ahead and jump right into the episode. So, we are at the scene of the accident. Hell, really, it's the scene of the crime because Bryce definitely caused this. But nonetheless, Angela is screaming to the top of her lungs. She's trying to drag Bryce out of the car. Here comes her sneaky link. He's trying to call 911 and help drag Bryce's body out the car. Like, it was a lot going on. And luckily, they pulled him out when they did, because next thing you know, his car caught on fire, right? Now, here's my question. Where did the other car go? Like, why wasn't Angela checking on Bryce and then the sneaky link checking on the other car? Because Bryce didn't just hit a tree. He literally hit somebody else. But nonetheless, that's where we left off with that. So then we go over to Zatima. Now, they're in bed. They're waking up for the morning. And basically, they turned their phones off last night so they can get some sleep. I'm just like, well, who's really blowing y'all up like that? I mean, Angela would have blown y'all phone up, but who's calling y'all like that? Y'all need to turn them off to get some sleep. That's interesting. But nonetheless, Zach, he's going on about how he doesn't want to be broke because, you know, when he was with Karen and how she treated him and how her friends used to talk about him. I'm just like, sir, like, let's be honest. Can we have an honest conversation about Zachary? Sir, stop trying to make it seem like you honestly got your money. Okay? Because if anything, you have Preston providing way more money than he needs to your account. And I'm just trying to understand, how is this going to work out? Also, y'all, I can't remember how much money Zach actually got from scamming via the stock market, but his money should be halfway depleted at this point. Because he ain't sold no houses. They ain't flipped no houses yet. Now, we have seen that he's living the life of luxury because he has 2 brand new cars outside, which is his and Fatima's. That can't be cheap. Then he bought the house that he's in. Yes, he's collecting rent from Deja, but it ain't going to be that much money that he bringing in. So that has to be expensive. The man has a whole new wardrobe, because he decided to buy a bunch of suits to make himself pretend to be like he's really this businessman. He's renting out an office where all he does is go down there and yell and twiddle his thumbs all day. Like, I'm sorry, but Zach's money should be depleting at this point. So I'm not even understand how he even still had $1.5 million left. But nonetheless, he does not want to be broke again. Okay, Zachary, who does want to be broke? But I actually found it kind of interesting that they even mentioned Karen's name on this show. And I'm just like, y'all can mention Karen. However, where is baby Michael? Because this little boy ain't been in 4 episodes. Did y'all forget that he supposedly lived there? Or have we not gotten to that part in Zatima because the timelines don't match up with sisters? Child, I give up with that. Moving on. So, next thing you know, we get this scene with Belinda and Nate. Oh my gosh. I cringe whenever I see them on the screen. I want both of them to go. They're over there hooking up. Next thing you know, she's like putting him out because it's over and he needs to go to work. So again, she brings up him not calling Zach. And I'm just like, girl, please stop. They have some more little back and forth banter. I didn't really care about it. Let's go ahead and move on, because Belinda actually ends up calling Angela. And this is where she finds out about Bryce's accident and how Angela is at the hospital, right? So, here we go again with her being so invested with Zach and Fatima She don't even care about what Angela's telling her. Okay? She does not care at all. The only reason why she gonna go down there is just because she nosy. Now, speaking of Angela, though, we see her and Sean, and it looks like Sean is ready to go, okay? They've been there since who knows what time in the morning, and he's tired, okay? So, next thing you know, as he's walking out, of course, we see Belinda walking in. I'm just like, uh-oh, here she go. So, basically, she's sitting there with Angela, and y'all, this scene was so weird, because they basically had the same conversation twice, okay? So, she's like, oh, well, what happened, right? So Angela goes on to tell her what happened. Now, throughout the entire process and the entire, conversation that was just had, the only thing that she's worried about is Zach knowing about it. I'm just like, girl, your obsession has got to stop. So then after that, you have Belinda being like, oh, well, why are you still sitting up here at the hospital? You're acting like you care. And Angela was like, yeah, I do care. Y'all, why was Belinda's next thing to say, but that's not your man? I'm like, wait a second. So this woman just witnessed her ex get into a car accident, and was she just supposed to go to work the next day? Like, that's crazy. I didn't realize that you couldn't care about a person even if they're your ex. And then what was weird about this conversation is that Belinda brought up her caring twice. I'm just like, okay, so Tyler didn't have no dialogue for them to talk about. Okay, great. So again, she's like, oh, he's not your man. And also she brought up the fact that Bryce likes men twice. And I'm just like, okay, so how homophobic are we going to be this season, Tyler? Like, let that go, please. Next thing you know, Belinda ends up leaving for work. Thank God. Y'all, what is Belinda's job? I thought she ran a blog, but I guess. Moving on. We see Zach. He's on the phone with the bank talking about he did a mobile deposit for $3 million. A mobile deposit. Baby, you would have had to walk into the bank with that check. Like, be so for real. But nonetheless, everything went through. Him and Preston, they're sitting in his office while he's doing this or whatever. And basically, Zach wants to know, how did Preston get this money? And he's like, I work and I'm on the farm or whatever. And here goes Zach talking about oh, well, how much money do you actually have? Zach, get out that man's pockets. Okay, nobody's questioning how much you actually have. Because, I really want to know that answer. Because I know it ain't the 1.5 that you over asking Preston for. It got to be lower than that. But nonetheless, Zach, he ends up kind of going in on Preston. Talking about how he drives like, a raggedy truck, and he wears the same cowboy boots all the time. And it's like, well, Zach, that's the crazy thing about this whole situation. Preston has money. He's quiet about it. You just got a few dollars in your pocket, and you've been flashy since you got the money. So, yeah, it's very possible that Preston has money, and he's going to continue to have money, while you, my friend, you're depleting at this point. You should only have a couple thousand left, if we want to be honest. But let's go ahead and move on. Next thing you know, Deja is walking by. I said, now why is she here? Now, she overheard them talking about money, and she over here, who got some money? I'm just like, okay, this is stupid. Why is she here? Now, according to her, she was visiting her lawyer, who happens to be in the same building as Zach. And now she's continuously being nosy about who has some money. I'm just like, okay, this is thirsty. They have no idea what to do with Deja's character. And it's very obvious. Now, of course, she's over here trying to flirt with Preston or whatever. And according to Deja, she says that she's still trying to pursue a case against Fatima. Girl, bye. You have to let that go. Now, moving on, when she leaves, Preston, he low-key kind of checking for her. And Zach is like, no, you don't need to date anybody like her because basically she gonna rock your world and you ain't gonna know what to do. Now, here's my thing. Doesn't Preston have a wife at this point? Or is he not married? Did he just pretend to get married? Did he send, like, Danny some Photoshop images? What's going on with his life? Because I'm not understanding. And there hasn't been, like, a clear answer on if he's married or not. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and move on. This scene is another scene that was unnecessary, y'all. We have Nate and Tony there at the barbershop. Nate is trying to rally up the people in the barbershop to be on his side, okay, about telling Zach about his brother. I'm just like, okay, this is getting out of hand. So he ends up causing this whole scene. The only thing he didn't do was he didn't say Zach's name. So now they got Mr. Tyrone involved into this conversation. And he basically said, listen, all hell gonna break loose when whoever it is finds out about their woman being hit. I said, well, that's very true. But also, I just feel like this whole scene was unnecessary. Lastly, y'all, we have Fatima in the projects. Why do these people keep going down to the hood? I'm not understanding. So she goes down there or whatever, and she sees Connie. Now, the thing is, she's not even there for Connie. She's there for Jeremiah. Fatima, why are you trying to get hit again? Like, you know this man is tripping. I'm not understanding. So then she's like, well, can you just make sure that he doesn't say anything? Because I don't want Zach to find out. Didn't we already establish this when them people popped up at your house? Like, why are we down in the projects? It don't make sense. And then next thing you know, when she's about to leave, Zach ends up walking up. And again, I don't know what they're doing for this season of Zatima, but I feel like maybe they should have brought some writers in. Because, Tyler, what are you doing? I feel like we should be seeing Zach grieve. We should see him actually trying to plan his funeral. Because I think there's so much stuff going on. But we're focused on the wrong things. We have no focus on Miss Gladys, who's passed away. Like, Fatima never told him about the insurance policy, and we're 4 episodes in. It's just not making sense. But y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.